In this video, we are going to understand how we can use Kubernetes and specifically Linode Kubernetes Engine to deploy cloud-native applications. So without any further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm inside of my computer screen and the very first thing that I'm planning to do is installation of kubectl, and we'll also parallelly create a new Kubernetes cluster. So I'm simply going to click create and then Kubernetes, and I can actually create a new cluster. So let's call it our first cluster, as this is our first cluster that we are creating. Let's call it first cluster, and I'll select region as Chennai because this is nearest to me. Then there is an option of HA control plane. Now it is recommended for production loads, but it will cost you money. Let's not enable it for now. Later in some video we'll discuss about it, but for now let's add 3 machines to our Kubernetes cluster. Let's get started with what Kubernetes is. It's also called K8. It's an open source system for automating, deploying, scaling and managing containerized applications. So what does that mean? Now traditionally, whenever you are deploying an app, you consider spinning up a VPS and then you deploy an application there, and it works in most of the cases. But when you are working with production workloads where there is a chance that your site might go down, for example Facebook or a site like Google search, all these websites are high traffic websites, and when you're working with high traffic websites, there is a good chance that you might face some issues due to some configurational drift. So all these things are managed by Kubernetes, and if you deploy using Kubernetes, Kubernetes will give you load balancer out of the box. Kubernetes will give you a way to basically spin up some machines such that redundancy is increased, so that your workload will not go down, your production website will not go down. We are basically adding 3 machines to our Kubernetes cluster. The name of our Kubernetes cluster is first cluster. We are saying that create a cluster with 3 machines. I don't want to go very fancy. I want to explain you that when we say that create a cluster with 3 machines, we are basically telling Kubernetes to start with these 3 machines, and Kubernetes will manage what we want to do with these 3 machines. Let me click on add, and these 3 machines are added, and it is showing me the cost as $36 per month. Let's click on create cluster, and I'll wait for this cluster to be created. This is first cluster, but for now let's wait for this cluster to configure. So LKE basically runs Kubernetes for you, and it manages Kubernetes for you out of the box, so that you don't have to worry about managing Kubernetes in itself. Kubernetes is managed. You only have to use the Kubernetes dashboard, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But for now, let's wait and let's download this YML file. So this YML file is basically a file which contains all the configuration. I'm waiting for all these machines to go up. These are the IP addresses of the machines which I'm configuring in my Kubernetes cluster. And before we work with Kubernetes, I want to show you a tool called kubectl. Now kubectl is a tool which you will use to interact with Kubernetes. Now, in order to install kubectl, you need to download it, and I'll show you how to install kubectl using Chocolatey. So if you're on Windows, you can open terminal, right click terminal, and I'll say choco install Kubernetes CLI. This is the command, and it is saying that Chocolatey detected you are not running from an elevated command shell. Okay, I want to continue, or let's do one thing. Let's run terminal admin, and let's run this command choco install Kubernetes CLI, and it is installing it. Let's wait, and yes, it has installed Kubernetes CLI for us. Now if we write kubectl, let's restart our terminal. I'll restart my terminal, and you'll see kubectl is now working. Now I had kubectl installed already on my machine, let me tell you, but if this doesn't work for some reason, or maybe if Chocolatey is not working for you, I'll give you another way to download kubectl. You simply download the kubectl.exe and put it somewhere inside your program files. You can go to program files and you can create a folder called kubectl. I think I've done that. Yes, I've done that. And then you can place this kubectl.exe. Now, where will you get this kubectl.exe from? All you need to do is go to this address and download kubectl.exe. You simply select this and right click, and you can open it in new tab, and kubectl.exe will start downloading. I'll not download it for now because kubectl is working for me. And then the last step is to adding this kubectl directory to your environment variables. You'll have to copy this, and then you'll have to go to environment variables. So edit the system environment variables, then click on environment variables, then select path, then edit, and then you can click on new, and you can add this. I've already added this, as you can see, C program files kubectl. So you can always do that. Okay, now let's close this because everything is working for me. Okay, so it has finished provisioning, and it has also downloaded first cluster kubeconfig.yaml file for me. All right, this is amazing. Now, how do I access my dashboard? You can go to this Kubernetes dashboard link, and Linode helps you get this link out of the box. You can either authenticate using token, or you can authenticate using kubeconfig, which I'm going to use. So first cluster kubeconfig.yaml. Let's sign in, and as you can see that I'm inside my Kubernetes dashboard. So this is one of the services which is running here, and I can further make other services work. And let's go to Kubernetes documentation, and we'll deploy an app. So let's see how we do that. So we'll go to learn Kubernetes basics. We'll open all these links, and we are going to deploy an app using kubectl. Let me tell you something. You can deploy an app by simply going to Kubernetes dashboard, and you can click here plus, and you can either create from input, or you can create from a file. You can give a JSON or YAML file which has the configuration, or you can simply create from a form. You can give the app name, container image, number of pods, and then service can either be internal or external. If it is external, you'll have to give port, target port, and everything. Let me create it from a YAML file. Okay, let's go to Kubernetes documentation, and let's see how we can create an app. So they have explained everything, like what is a pod and what is a node. Node is basically the virtual machine. A node can have a containerized application. Then you can have deployment in the control plane. What is a control plane? Kubernetes control plane basically takes control of all the nodes, and you can see the application running in all those nodes. Okay, now let's see whether kubectl is working for me or not. Now we'll have to do something. We'll go to CD, and I'll go to my home directory. I'm already in my home directory. We'll create a folder called dot. Let me show you. I have already created that .cube folder. You'll have to create this .cube folder, .cube, and this folder is something that you'll have to create. Make sure you create this .cube folder inside your home directory, and then create a config. So I'll do one thing. I'll say code dot, and I already have a config here. I'll delete all the YAML files that I have. I'll remove this config. Let me remove this config because we'll create everything from scratch. Let me delete this YAML file as well. So let me delete this. Yes, I want to move it to recycle bin, and let me remove the cache as well. I want to delete everything, and I have created a .cube directory from scratch. Okay, let's see what we'll put in this config file. We'll simply put this. Let me go back to downloads. Let me open this. I'll open this with Notepad, and let me copy the content of this file. And after copying the content of this file, I will simply put it here inside this config, and I'll save it. It contains the configuration, everything. Let me go back to the Linode dashboard or the Kubernetes documentation, and let's see if we are able to run the Kubernetes commands. Now the common format of kubectl command looks something like this. You write kubectl, then you write the action, and then you type the resource name. This performs the specified action like create, describe, or delete. Now I'll show you how this works. I can simply go and say kubectl get nodes, and the moment I do that, you can see that these nodes are created, and they are up since 7 minutes 45 seconds. Okay, this is telling me everything about my nodes. I can also say kubectl get services, and if I do that, only one service is running, which is Kubernetes. I can even create further services and they'll be running. As you can see, this service has been running since 10 minutes. Now we'll create an app and we'll deploy that app to Kubernetes, and we'll talk about how we can create cloud native applications using Kubernetes. Okay, now to deploy an app, I can simply run this command kubectl create deployment Kubernetes bootcamp, and I'm going to use this image. So this is an image which is in this repository, and I can simply run this command to get this up and running. And as you can see that this deployment has been created. Now that I've created deployment, I can always go to kubectl command and I can say kubectl get deployments, and you can see that this is running. It is not yet ready because it is showing me as 0/1. Okay, let's wait for it to get up. So if we run this command kubectl proxy, it will start a local server on this URL. And if I visit this URL, it will show me all the APIs that I can use. So this is really very cool. Okay, let's see if our deployment is ready or not. So if I say get deployments, yes, it is ready. So in order to get my app up and running, I'll have to create a service. And in order to create a service, I can simply say Kubernetes expose this deployment and expose it as node port. I'm not going to expose it as node port because if I expose it as node port, I'll not be able to access it from external network. I want to be able to access this externally. So let's do one thing. Let's wait and let's create a load balancer. Okay, so I'll be creating a load balancer. So I'll come here and I'll change this command and I'll say load balancer. Okay, and let's run this command. So the moment I run this command, this service has been exposed. Okay, now I can come back to this and I can say, I want to get all the services. Kubectl get services. This is how you get all the services. This is the load balancer and this is the external IP for this load balancer. And if I go to this IP and I say 8080, this is working. Now this website is surely working. I'll have to remove this HTTPS, and if I run it on HTTP, this is working. So if I go to my Kubernetes dashboard, you'll see that this service will be displayed there. If I go to services, you'll see that this service, okay, the form has not been submitted. Yes, I want to leave. This service as a load balancer has been deployed, which means that I can go to this endpoint and I can see this app up and running. I can always point a domain to this. There are a lot of things that can be done. And these external endpoints are provided by Linode. So this is how you get your basic Kubernetes app up and running. Now this is a very simple application which is simply showing this, but ideally you will in production workload environments, you will want to create applications which will do more than this. And specifically you will want your applications to do something in response to the user. For example, user might send some request to the server, and in response to that request, you will fetch some data from the database, or maybe you will call another service and collect the data and send HTML, CSS, JavaScript files to the user. So if you want to do all that, you'll have to plan your application accordingly. So I hope that this video helped you understanding what Kubernetes is and how you can build cloud native applications using Kubernetes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time.